Hello guys, I want to invite you, and I appreciate that you're taking time to take a look at the following interview that we're gonna have. I have the pleasure to invite here to my home here in Bangkok. We've been having a nice week behind us of working, getting not only, the tools for you, but setting up corporate things, where I am also very privileged to learn a lot from Frank Ricketts, our CEO of Cloud Horizon. And also invited here we have Jens Lausten, and he's the COO, as you most probably know. And yeah, like I said, we had a very interesting week behind again. It is always so cool when you're getting people down with the same kind of, wavelength, let's call it that way, because when you do that, then it comes more people into the picture, the energy level goes up. And this is the same as as if you're working with the network side of Cloud Horizon, from the independent associate side. It's the same thing when you're building a network. You need to get the right people in place. And the reason for me wanted to do this in an interview form more is that for you guys to get to know the people behind, the ones that runs, the daily operations. Yes, you see them out on the field. I'm sure you maybe even did it already. You've been seeing Frank out on the field, you've been seeing Jens out on the field, but I think it's also important for you to understand that what you see when you meet these people is only a part of the job that is put in. Because as we've been speaking before and we've been mediating with you guys, is that for us our only and foremost job is to make it easier for you, as easy as possible, to run your business as an independent associate. So I would like to take the opportunity first, having said that, to welcome Frank, and a little bit off script, so to say, in a more relaxed way, ask a little bit about your personal, opinion about network marketing in general.
Oh, well, network marketing in general is my life, and it's been my life. I think it's one of the most amazing industries there is. And there are so many facets to the industry. It's not just about giving people an opportunity to change maybe their financial situation and to fulfill one or two financial goals or dreams they may have. But it's also an industry that gets the best out of everyone because it allows you to come out of your box, and everyone is encouraging you to come out of your box. And there's so many people looking for talents inside of people they don't even know they have. In a regular job, you're normally being pushed back into your box at all times, and you're never allowed to evolve and develop, and you're not encouraged to. And this is quite the opposite, and I must say I'm completely fascinated by that aspect, that facet of our industry. And yeah, I think that's what I would say to network marketing.
I want to ask you a follow-up question on that. Now how many years is it now since you got the first look at network marketing?
The very first look at network marketing, in those days it wasn't called network marketing, it was called MLM, multi-level marketing, and that's 46 years ago.
Now guys, I'm 44 right now.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was Pamper days.
Hardly. Yeah, it's interesting because, for me also, I've been, soon 19 years, and I've seen the change. How would you describe the change since when you first ran into it until what happened until now, at this point?
Fundamentally, no change whatsoever. It's an industry that allows you to go after certain goals that you can only fulfill financially. And 46 years ago was also, people were looking for people's talents that they didn't know they had. I think the fundamental change is that the diversity of products and services has changed tremendously over the years. Established industries getting involved or using network marketing as another field to market their products and services. 46 years ago, there wasn't much more than cosmetics, creams, potions and pills. And that has certainly diversified over the years. Another thing that has certainly changed is communication. And you know, I went through the period, the revolutionary period of the fax machine. And when the fax machine came into our industry, I mean, wow. We didn't have to wait 10 days sending a form to America, registration form, waiting for it to come back. We had a machine that you could just put a piece of paper in and whoop-de-whoop, it disappeared, and then an hour later it started rolling out again, another piece of paper, and we had people up and running and registered and ready to go. Yes, there's been a tremendous change in how one communicates with each other, how one can talk with people in 80 different countries at the same time. 46 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, you had to get on a plane to each of those countries to talk with them. So
yeah, that is interesting. Just from my side also, like I said, 19 years. And I actually came in a real, I would say, almost like a paradigm shift with the communication part.
Yeah.
Because when I started in August 2000, it did not, the company I was enrolled in, did not have a homepage. It came exactly at that point that, you know, changed. From having the downline reports coming every week into the post and so on. So I think from my part, I don't know if you agree, is that because I see it, and I know we've been speaking about it even with you guys, that people tend to forget today because it's so fast, you know, about how important it is to actually get the right information, to get the right training in what you do, because when it's more fast, in my opinion, I don't know if you agree with me, it becomes even more so important. Because it goes bad in a fast way as also good in a fast way.
Absolutely. And maybe just to finalize, you know, I saw the fax machine come, but I also saw it go. And I think 90% of you watching this interview, you've never used a fax machine in your life. But
I have.
No, the speed of things is quite tremendous, and keeping ahead of things. And I think also in our industry, or any industry, the development, you know, the back office development of things, and new functionalities of this and that, or maybe a new way of doing this or a new way of doing that, it's all happening so fast, and one has to really not only use the media and the technical stuff that we have today, but also learn how to use it. And it's great. The last thing I would say on that though is, don't make yourself dependent though on building a business that you feel that you can do this online. For me, network marketing, yes, use all the media and technical advantages that you have today to get talking with people, or to even get in touch with people, even cold market. But at the end of the day, network marketing will always be about relationships.
100%.
And the relationship will always, at the end of the day, be the personal relationships that you build over weeks, over months, that will mean you have a solid business through these solid relationships.
So there I could not agree personally more. People in some cases, and in many cases when they come into the industry and are new to it, even seasoned networkers, in my opinion, obviously this is an opinion, it's subjective, but I see so many times that people tend to think about more what a person could do for them than what they could do for the person, which it's all about. And they tend to not understand that with getting somebody really successful, they need to actually teach that person and be together with that person. And if you can't, I use an expression that if you can't share a pizza together, you shouldn't enroll them in the business. Because it's all about the relationship. So one more thing that is pretty hilarious, and I actually think of it the same way for me, because I always also had a thing that I joined actually network marketing and started network marketing because I thought that I would like to retire, okay? And this is something that I know that you've been not so good at.
That's true. The first attempt at retiring was in 2003. I managed 15 months. I went to Florida and had a beautiful home in Sarasota. And that year we got hit 3 times with a hurricane. I thought, what am I doing here? But I tell you, every day was a challenge. And I started again, and then a couple of years ago I had the second attempt. I was 65, and it's normal to retire when you're 65 from, you know, the British background, American background. And that lasted 7 months. And then I had another go last summer. And then I came down here. I was 7 weeks into my 4th retirement. And here I am again. And I think, and I know that I will never ever be able to lose complete contact to this industry and to the people.
Yeah.
It's given me everything, and I hope and I believe I can still give something back. And so I'm here for the run.
I want to spin on that a little bit, because I don't know if all of you guys know how this whole concept came together. You maybe heard it told and so on, but I want to make something really clear. I believe personally that any kind of business needs different kind of skills, and you can't have one person that has all of these skills. So reality is that a lot of the things you see in the whole, you know, consortium that is created and so on are businesses that are old businesses, established businesses, that actually has nothing to do with network marketing in per se. It is traditional businesses, everything from real estate to the plastic to fuel, Sepco and so on. There is other business also connected in this jigsaw. And without you, Frank, we would actually not have a cloud horizon. It wouldn't have been even a thought for me, because my final piece with that whole jigsaw that exists today, that obviously is not about me, it's about we, everybody in the consortium, and also about you on the field to get something to work. But the important part here, I know, because I knew about you for many years. We never met the first years when I was in the industry. Sure. But I knew who was Frank Ricketts, and I always got this, yeah, but you should, you know, contact Frank if it was something about corporate or about the networking in itself. And I got to know about you more through common businesses and common networks and so on, and more so over the last year behind and so on, then on an even more close scale, working together. And finally then, by more or less circumstances,
maneuvering. It was maneuvering.
Yeah, okay, a bit. Okay. Now, because I can truly say to you guys, the reason why I respect you, Frank, the most. I respect you as a human being, I like you as a brother, I like you as a partner, but the respect comes from one certain area, and it's not only that you are a great networker and understand the industry, because you understand like very few on the market. Very few on the market. I believe that if you look on a global situation, with any kind of MLM and networking, there is not more than maybe a handful in the industry that can actually understand both the corporate side of a business and the network. Because I see so many times, it's the same with me. I have experience from before of doing network marketing from a corporate side. And I can say, and I told it before, that is the last thing I would want to do myself. Because it's a global business we're talking about, and it's very complex. So before I met with you, I also said it to my other partners that already existed, that without Frank, I won't be doing it. Your, how would you say, input from this so people can understand. What are the most important things from a corporate level being able to protect the field, the network, that you need to look at when you're doing something like Cloud Horizon?
Without a doubt, the key is protecting the company. And by having the highest level of compliance and the willingness to comply with any rules and regulations related to the industry, the business itself, around products and services. There's a whole ball game depending on what products and services, this country, that country, one thing or another, but also from the finances. And I think today one of the, not the toughest, but certainly one of the most important areas that one has to really be on top of the corporate finance, but also thus with the members. On a global business, you have products and services coming from various countries, going to various other countries. You've got members wanting to buy products here, products there, and the whole movement of funds, etc., etc. And we really have to have a tight ship on that, but also paying. Also making sure with cash flows, liquidity, etc., etc., that not one person misses out on a withdrawal request to his bank account of choice. But that opens up another lot of challenges because, you know, from our banks that we use, go into other countries, and banks in other countries, different continents, you know, we have to document so much stuff in the background that I don't even want to let you know the amount of work involved.
So, why did I ask this question? It's for you as an associate, independent associate on the field, understanding why we are asking certain things to be done in a certain way. It is not for making it very difficult for you. It is for protecting you and your business. That is, just as Frank said, it's a very important point. The documentation that happens with ticketing, that happens with proper emails going out, that happens with you agreeing to certain things, following instructions.
KYCs,
KYC.
right at the top.
Exactly. Yeah. So the point with the whole thing here, why I asked this question is, so you understand why we ask things. Because otherwise I know network marketing pretty well, let's say it that way. In 19 years I learned it quite well. And in several cases, especially when you get going like Cloud Horizon right now, we need to create a culture. And a culture is created from the beginning, not later on. Which has to do with that you as a leader obviously needs to learn how to earn. And these things are from the smallest thing as how do I register? How do I follow the instructions with payments? How do I do this? How do I do that? Last question for you, Frank. I know I don't even need to ask you why you chose Cloud Horizon. I think it's pretty simple. I believe that we have something that is not only changing one paradigm, but many. But I want to ask you one thing more, and that is, I don't need to ask you if you're excited, you're coming out of retirement, but I want to ask you how you see upon the future and the next year and 5 years of Cloud Horizon and why you see us going that way.
I see ourselves as a winner, and I see everyone involved, no matter in what capacity, at what level, what intensity, it's a winner. And it's a winning program. I mean, the combination, we can talk the next hours of what this is all about, but to be able to be involved, you know, one of the biggest environmental issues there is, without any gain, even being involved with that, you can classify yourself as a winner. To be then involved with a global solution for that, you're a winner. To be able to make other people aware of that, with all the various medias that Cloud Horizon put together and Sepco, our partner, you're a winner. And then to be able to have a business opportunity out of that, and earning and potential earnings out of that, you're a winner. And the thing is, this isn't a trend that's only here for the next few months. People often ask me, because when you get involved with some opportunities, not just network marketing, but also in other areas, how long is that opportunity going to be there? And if it's a really trendy thing in everyone's mouth and newspapers every day, normally it's got a lifespan. And the lifespan of this, guys, that really makes it the winner, I say to people, when they ask you, how long do you think this is going to go on? I say, well, I think at a rough estimate, it will end when there's no plastic waste anymore, when no one wants fuel anymore, And no one's interested in products and services where you can save money, and by showing people these products and services, you can actually make money. We're on a winner. That's it.
That is very interesting words. Because I truly believe that myself also, that we are so different that it takes time for the person to really understand it.
Absolutely.
And we are dealing in many cases with, at least people say that it's leaders, you know, and so on, that are the most tricky people on the market, because we believe we know. But if you speak with a normal person that's never been involved in network marketing about this, they just go, wow. Absolutely. It's something so different. So it's so good, in my opinion, and you don't need to exaggerate it that it's so good, that most people will doubt it just because of it. Yeah. Where is the catch? Where's the catch?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna first of all thank you for, in the end of the day, trusting me enough as coming down to Bangkok when you came. And also taking the leap of not only, you know, coming out of, you know, retirement with all the effects towards family, you know, situations, and also time and commitment, and also risk. Absolutely. Let's be honest, every time you start something, even how good it is, you can have things in place but not in order.
Absolutely.
So I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, and then jumping over to our next and newest after Frank then member, our COO, Jens Lausten. And I want to ask you a follow-up question on that, because I know that since you also came down to discuss your involvement with us, I think it changed a lot in your head, in your brain, what you thought when you came down. So I'm going to ask you first that question. What did you think when you came down to take a look?
What did I think? I had a lot of information. I think you know, I heard a little bit about the products and left and right, but it was quite loose. And as you remember, you and I had a call after I spoke to Frank. It was around the 7th or something of January this year. And at that time, I absolutely had promised my wife, I'm going to stay home. We're not going to do anything. But what happened was, with a lot of loose information, I came down and I saw something that amazed me. Because there's one thing of understanding something when, you know, from an intellectual standpoint. The other thing is when you really know it on an emotional level. And you see that it can actually bring a solution to what is a global challenge. Let's face it, it's a global challenge. That was one part of it, and that struck me, that amazed me. But still, the real kicker for me was when I went into the condo and I saw how people were, you know, engaging. I mean, they were talking in 5, 6, 7 different languages. They were over the moon excited. They did not have a stable, you know, protocol of how to present. They were just shouting away, and it was pure passion going out there. And you gave the question here before, you know, what's changed in the industry? And while I will totally agree with my mentor Frank here in saying that the fundamentals are the same, there are some major changes that are still fundamental. Because and I'm not talking about the technology side of things, because technology obviously has changed a lot for us. But what used to be, networking used to be sort of this parallel world that did not need to relate to traditional markets. Well, the competition level of today is so high that you cannot just think to build a parallel level. You know, you need to really look at the market, and you need to be engaging in a growing market. And if you have a global threat that you have a solution to, I mean, what can grow faster than that? And so that was sort of what came together for me, and I developed the plastic mouth. I started talking about plastic everywhere. I was infected. I called Frank 2 days after I came home and said, you know, I have no chance. I got to do this.
Yeah, that is something that grows on you. I remember also when I got the call to actually go and look at what Sepco do, okay? And I learned to actually, you know, call bluffs, okay? Because I have done the mistake previously of saying no before finding out. And I don't do that anymore. I try to, with my best, you know, intentions, actually open these and listen. And I think for me that is actually what I see as the biggest difference with what we do compared to any opportunity out there is that for me during my 19 years in the industry, it has been amazing. Okay, amazing. Even like Frank says also from the mistakes I did, the choices that I did, maybe not, no, I want to change that and say, every time when I did something, I believed it was something awesome. Because you don't take a step and start something if you are not excited.
Of course.
Okay? But the difference that I have seen here and why I think this had this buzz, you know, about it, you know, an excitement about it is that the more you learn about it, the more excited you're going to become. And that is different from most other opportunities because you start very excited and then you start finding out these things that maybe could be done in a different way. And that is the reason also for me taking the step together with Frank actually going out with this in a network marketing perspective is that I didn't feel that I had another way. Why? Because I see so much on the market, like you said, that the parallels, you know, they are pretty much the same, but a little bit different, like we say in Thailand. But nothing that sticks out and can really provide something different. Okay? Something different. That is built, in my opinion, on a little bit, not a little bit even, in many cases even upside down perspective. So for you, Jens, I want to ask, once you understood, okay, believed yourself by seeing that it works, by seeing, you know, and thinking where we're gonna go, what is your belief on, you know, and what are the strategies that you would say needs to happen the next months? Where will we go with Cloud Horizon? What will we do to adapt? What will we do? How flexible will we be, you know, to become better and so on? How do you see it?
Well, to be very open and honest, all of this, what we're doing, we're in one big learning process. While we have a lot of experience here, we're constantly learning these days. And what we, from a strategic standpoint, have said that we're not going to get locked down into something we cannot change and move with, because the likelihood is it will change a lot. Now, we have a great head start technology-wise. We have a great head start when you look at the way that we're able to operate with less than 3 months of operation already on a global scale. But what we will do is the purpose of the polypetron is really to solve the problem of the plastic. Now, yes, that we take that and turn it into a profit is just unbelievable. But for this really to get out, we are developing strategies right now that will simply help people, private people, to connect with this mission that we're on, because we are on a mission to eradicate all of this plastic waste floating around in rivers, being currently dug into the ground, and it can't go anywhere else. So what we're doing is something that will allow the world to connect to our mission. That's the number one thing. Having said that, that goes for the polypetron. Our products and services and, you know, saving people money it's unlimited. We're getting contacts every single day from people who says, you know, we have this, we have that. You know, if you're a community and if you're strong, people want to deal with you. They want to do business with you. And it's just a mathematical thing that in fact you can get a good discount. And so the emotions of a discount we should not neglect, because you have two, you know, products that are totally similar, and this one is just 2 cents more expensive. Yeah. No one wants to buy it because the emotion says I'm gonna get the one that is 2 cents less expensive. And yeah, that's why we have a really round concept, because people want to save money. It's a wanting. And the kicker on top of that are twofold, because you are participating passively in creating it, or in solving a global crisis. And on top of that, because of modern technology, we are able to credit you for that, and you participate in the oil. I mean, how, and that's really the thing that, I don't know, even if you explain it good enough today, but for you guys sitting out there, be skeptical. That's all good and dandy. We sit here 3 guys in t-shirts behind a pool, and thank you for the invitation. Yeah, but you should check out the facts. This video is made with no script, and it's made with no script for one purpose only. And the purpose is to reach out to you and say, hey, come join us, come check us out, know what we're doing, because what's happening here is literally changing the world for everyone, even those who are not participating. But if you do participate, there's an upside that I predict none of us can predict right now.
I want a little bit spin on this, because you said something that is so important in my opinion, and that is that we are learning. And that is, I think, one of the things that changed my life, understanding that learning process in whatever that you do, as soon as you stop developing and not being willing to change and learn, you will go backwards. There is nothing stagnant in life. And a scary thing with that is that I'm like a sponge when I'm interested about something. I just want to find out. And the scary thing is that when I run into this plastic to fuel, you know, I was a little bit like, plastic, how bad can it be? Yeah, it's ugly. I didn't understand, and I think most people don't, because they have a perception of, that, yeah, but my country don't have a problem, yeah, but maybe Thailand. But I read something really scary, the other day. I think it was yesterday or the day before, that was posted in one of our groups that we deal with, daily things in. And that is that in US, as an example, more than 100 cities right now is actually either quitting the recycling or scaling it down immensely. They're giving up on it, okay? And the scary part here that I don't think that you know is I learned so much about the plastic pollution and microplastics that I didn't know even existed from before. And I can say to you that no country has 100% recycling. None, and they don't even come close to 50%. And that is the scary part. Now, the really scary part for me is that yes, we put it in the ground. Yes, it melts down and breaks down over the hundreds of years and so on, in the ground. The really scary part I actually got from one of our management positions brother that visited, here in Thailand. And he is in waste management in the US. And he said to me something that I never, ever will forget. And that is about the coral reefs around the world. The microplastic that breaks down into the water, and don't believe me in this, go and find out yourself and you will see that it's correct, and it's really, really scary. The coral reefs are called the oxygen of the seas, okay? And these coral reefs are mistaken the microplastic for actually biological things that they would eat normally. They eat the microplastic and they starve themselves to death. And that is scary, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not only an ugly thing with plastic pollution, it's something that gets into our body through what we eat. And if we do not do anything, it doesn't look good. And before, when I started this concept, got interested about it, and I started this thing, okay, let's put it on a blockchain and all of this. I have to be honest, I was more looking, okay, we can maybe clean up a bit, I didn't believe that it's actually possible to solve. Today I believe it is. With the help of a strong network, with these kind of products and services, I'm not kidding you, I think that we can actually solve it. Because we're educating people. Okay? And that's the most important thing. And you know how many calls come and say, yeah, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that. Because it is so hot topic, and it will stay a hot topic until it is solved. It's just a fact, it gets worse. Now, Jens, with that said, because I think we have discovered something that I think you, as an associate, when you understand that, you're gonna go bananas, okay? And that is, can you explain a little bit about how important and why this merchant deal license and the merchants will play a major part in the next coming weeks, months, and so on? Because I believe myself that is a really true key, and it will be a game changer for everybody of you.
It absolutely is. Merchant, again, it's a two-way street. It's about connecting people to our mission. And what's better than to connect with a global network? So if you're a merchant, if you have a restaurant, if you have a shop out there of any nature, being it online, being it a physical store, doesn't really matter. You can come join our revolution here, our mission to really make this a better place. And what we're doing with that program is we're offering businesses marketing secured. Marketing secured in the way that they will never ever lose money, quite the contrary. While our members will gain a discount, the merchant will get the positive credit of participating in waste management, getting plastic waste, and it's really waste, guys. It's not clean plastic, it's waste plastic turned into oil, and they will profit from it. So they get the image, the marketing, and here's where we come in. There's something called social capital, but there's also something called social responsibility, and we all have it. We all carry. I mean, it would be a minimum to expect from everyone that we clean up after ourselves. And when you talk about the social capital, and that's just the strategy we're using here, it's simply the capital that each and one of you have. The capital of the trust that you have when you talk to people. You can share a message, you can share the vision, you can share the data that you've seen. And like Staffan said, don't believe us, you know, Google it, go check it out, come down
It's
here.
all about the facts.
Everything is here to be seen for you, just like we had to see it. But we are all in. We are all in record speed. And it's not like we did not have other offers or other things to do, but fact beats conversation, and sometimes you just get lucky. I mean, you just get lucky.
Yeah, that's how I consider myself doing the long drive to go and meet this gentleman, Dr. Mehta from Sepco. It would have been so easy. It was, you know, it was a Sunday. Normally, I would, you know, do more with the family on a Sunday than any other day. You know, maybe take the kids, you know, to the mall or whatever. And obviously, I always work, so I have my phone with me. But so I was sitting in the car, and actually, I wasn't happy about it because I didn't know what I was going to see. I thought it was something totally different. But I feel myself, you know, blessed of getting in this situation. And that is something that I think that I would like to leave you with from this interview. I'm very excited to work with both Frank and Jens for the reasons, for the reasons, Frank and Jens, that first of all, it's about the honesty about you guys. You know, honest people. When we work with somebody that puts in not only, you know, the hours, but, you know, the whole soul into it, and the trust, and the, you know, the responsibility. As I know with Frank, he gets mad if he don't get to take his responsibility. Same as it is with Jens. These gentlemen has, yes, they have similar skills as me, but they also have skills that I don't have. Okay, with structure and, you know, and all of these kind of things. I'm more of, you know, the racehorse that goes that way, you know, and tends to go really fast, but not looking so much left and right. But working with people like you guys, it makes it so cool because it complements all, and not only you guys, but people on the board also of all the companies. And I think you guys are gonna see in the next months also this concept evolving so much towards the positive way, so you get it easier to present for people, because that's what it's all about. Because if I ask you a last question and I leave you with it, do you think it's reasonable that you as a human being takes at least responsibility for your own garbage? Anybody I asked so far has said yes. Okay? And that is what you can do by choosing to know, not maybe work directly with Cloud Horizon actively, but only choosing merchants, choosing products and services that has these credits on them that comes from being involved, which means that indirectly when you purchase something, you support the mission. Okay? So by doing that, you can actually clean up your own mess.
In a measurable way.
In a measurable way. And that is why I know I have never been so sure about anything in my life, because if you're looking at a merchant, you spoke about social capital, and I want to leave you with that thought to think about. If you have two options, like you said, something really good, one is cheaper, but if you on top of that, I'm able to measure how many kilos of trash do I take away by choosing this merchant instead of the other one, I don't think I need to tell you which one people want to choose. And that means that it would be madness for any kind of merchant, for any kind of person that have understood what we do, to not be involved, actively or inactively. But I think that we need to get better on, also from our side, from the corporate, and not me as a corporate of Cloud Horizon, but involved in the whole concept, to explain it in a more easy way. But also it puts responsibility on you to learn about what we're doing. That means that if you stopped watching this video before, you are not doing your responsibility. Because you need to learn in order to earn. You can't give something forward without first understanding what it's all about. And it is, in the end of the day, so simple. I don't know if you guys agree, I think you do, that we are taking away trash. It doesn't only disappear, it makes money. You save money and at the same time help the environment. And I don't know about you, but for me that feels pretty natural to actually tell somebody else about it. And if that is not enough, but making then on top of it money, I don't know what's going to be enough. Because that's my opinion about it. You are probably not having a pulse. I don't know what more we would be able to do. So that is from me. Is it anything that you guys more want to say?
Just thank you also for the opportunity, Paddy.
Yeah.
That is my pleasure, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else than you guys. So thank you.
I thank you, and I thank you really for the opportunity.
From my heart to you guys, both of you,
Thank
for
you.
trusting me and giving everybody out on the field the opportunity to actually not only save, make some money, but also be involved in solving a critical situation around the globe. And we see you around the world on some of the events.
Okay.
See you soon.
Take care.